Hi, and welcome to Homeschool Advice with Laura Geis. I'm Laura Geis, author of the Homeschool Toolkit and founder of homeschooladviceonline.com. And for the past few weeks, we've been answering a question for a mom. She wrote in and asked, "At the end of the day, I am exhausted, but I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. Is something wrong with me?" We said, no, nothing's wrong. We all feel that way sometimes because a lot of the things we do, it does seem like we're not getting anywhere with it because a lot of it's undone right after we do it. You know, we wash the kids' clothes and they make them dirty again. So it can seem like you're just running in a rat race. But we also discuss that sometimes we get things out of balance in our lives, especially stay-at-home moms. When I was writing my book, The Homeschool Toolkit, I really narrowed in on 5 areas where we can tend to get out of balance when we're home with our kids all day. And we've talked about 2 of those. One was preparing versus reacting, which is, having a plan for your day versus just letting things happen and you react to it all day. Another area was giving versus receiving, that we can't give something that we don't have. And then today I want to talk with you about yourself, being self-focused and being others-focused. And it kind of goes along with what we talked about last week, but I know as a mother sometimes, like I had one daughter and she really struggled with learning her multiplication facts. And after a while, I started to take it personally, like I think that she's making this difficult so that it's going to take up all my time and I'm going to be behind schedule, and I was looking at the whole thing from my point of view, and I wasn't even considering the struggle she was having and the frustration of trying to learn those multiplication facts. So that's an area where we can tend sometimes to be a little self-focused. Sometimes my kids will come in and kind of interrupt me while I'm preparing a meal or something, and it always reminds me of one time when I was a little girl. We lived on a big hill, and we would go out in our front yard and we would lay in the grass and we would just roll down the hill, and that was a lot of fun. All the neighborhood kids would come over and we'd just play on this hill. But one day I rolled right over an ant hill, and when I got up, there were ants crawling all over my hair. And I was screaming, and I ran in the house, and I remember my mother was in the middle of fixing our dinner. And she was like, "I can't deal with those ants in your hair right now. I'm trying to make dinner." And I just kept screaming, I wanted these ants out of my hair. But, she was focused on her thing, and I was focused on my thing. So sometimes we need to reach a happy medium of, realizing where another person's coming from. Well, I do have 3 tips for you to help you equip yourself to better serve others. And one is to get plenty of rest. I don't know about you, but when I am overtired, that's when I get short and snappy, grumpy. I don't have patience. So it's very important to try to get enough rest. Now, I know that some of you out there probably have infants and you're getting up in the middle of the night. I've been there, I've done that. I've got 6 children. One lifesaver for me was when I asked this older lady at church one time, she had raised 5 children on her own. I said, "What's the biggest piece of advice you can give me, Edna?" And she said, "Every day, have a rest time." I said, "Rest time? What's rest time?" Well, she said, "Every day, I, separated my children, and I had some quiet time, and I might drink a cup of tea, I might lay down, take a quick nap," and so I tried it. So after lunch, the kids who were older would go to their rooms and read for a while, and the younger kids, they might fall asleep, but they all had to go to a different place and just do something quiet for about 20 minutes. And I set the timer on the stove, and if I was expecting or something, how tired you are in the afternoon, I would fall right to sleep. So I always set that timer on the stove, and it would wake me up, and it was just enough of a power nap to get me through the rest of the day. So if you're having problems getting enough rest at night, you might try a little power nap during the day. And it's good for everyone, your kids too, not just you. The second thing is to eat well. I know one time I was going through this really stressful time. I think it was just my husband was working late a lot, and I had, I think, 3 in diapers at that time, and it was just overwhelming to me. And what did I turn to? I would eat sugary things all the time. I would pop candy or pop, or just get that short, sugar fix, and then I would just drop. And so finally I learned a little bit more about nutrition and, to get some protein in my body and cut out some of those sugars. And it's given me a lot more energy, and it helps me be more available to give to others. So if that might be a problem for you, get a good book on nutrition and see if you can change your eating habits a little bit. And then finally, make sure that you take some time to be by yourself, alone time, which can seem impossible when you have a house full of kids and they're home all day. I know some of the things I do, I always wake up before my kids wake up. I mean, unless they're sick or something, I am always out of bed before they are. And that's when I have my quiet time. And now when I had babies, that was not possible for me. I was just too tired, and the sleep was more important than the quiet time. But as they've gotten older, that's a time I have for myself. And then again, we have the rest time in the afternoon, and then in the evening when the kids go to bed. I don't go straight to bed, but I'm a bath person. I like to take a bath in the evening and relax and do a little reading, and that's my alone time. So make sure you build some alone time into your day. And that will just refuel you, so you'll be ready to serve your family. So I hope some of these tips are helping you. I have a lot more tips in my book, The Homeschool Toolkit. It's available on Amazon.com, but next week I'll be back to talk about another area where we can get out of balance if we're not careful. I'll see you then.